Hello guys, it's Pyro. I'm going to be doing a quick overview of my ranking system that I've developed. It is the goal of the system, first of all, before I show you anything, is simply to attempt to assign a number value to a player's ability to win rounds. As such, it doesn't track things like kills, headshots, points earned. It doesn't track things. The point is not to be a skill tracker, or the point is not to be a scoring system, right? TTT already has a scoring system on its own. And I'm not trying to create a duplicate. However, what I am trying to create is something that's very reminiscent of League of Legends ranking system, StarCraft 2 ranking system, the World of Warcraft, I think it was the Arena ranking system, and simply a way to tell how good someone is compared to everyone else. That's all I'm trying to create. So the premise is simple. I tried to take it kind of to another level where you had customizability, you had ease of access of information, and it was at least easy on the eyes. So, without further ado, let's get into it. You access it by opening up your console and typing in rank UI. I played a couple rounds against bots previously to kind of, get the idea of a little bit of games played so you could see what it looks like. So, you can open it up like that. What I've done is I bind a key, bind whatever key to rank UI, right? Then when you press that key, it'll pop it up. So here's the main page. The main page has your division and your skill, obviously the highest, biggest text. Your division is based directly off of your skill. Your division changes based in intervals of 400. You can see at the bottom that there is a skill bar that moves across the screen. When it fills up, you have reached the next division. You can drop divisions and you can gain divisions. It tells you how many points you have until the next division, what the next division is. You can see that's right here. The next division after Quartz is Emerald. I have 326 points. I'm 74 points into Quartz division. It also gives me a breakdown of every single round. If you win or lose, it tells you how many points you lost, and it tells you where you lost those points from, or gained those points from. The system also keeps tracks of your wins, your round losses, your win rate percentage, your total rounds played, and the highest skill you've achieved. That's the gist of it. That's the whole system. If you don't like the system and you don't want to be part of it, you simply press opt out, you opt out, and you have no part in the system. Your division is not tracked, your highest skill does not change, your wins and losses aren't tracked, your win rate isn't tracked, nothing is tracked, and you don't show up in any kind of system for displaying people's skill in the skill system. However, it is persistent, so if you opt out at one point and decide to opt in later, boom, you're back in the system just how you were when you left. Also, at the beginning of every round, the system will send you a little message saying, hey, you're being tracked by the ranking system. Go ahead and, here's how you view the ranking system. Or you're not being tracked by the ranking system. And you can enable or disable that simply by pressing this button. Now, that's pretty much it as far as the user interface goes. If you want, then there's two extra panels that normal users will have access to. The player listings panel, which gives an overview of every single player in the server, their name, their skill, their current division, and the highest division they've ever gotten to, which is based off of their highest skill achieved. This will update in real time as players leave and join the server. It'll create a scroll bar for larger servers, and there's really not a lot to it. It just allows you to see how other people in the server are doing. If a player is opted out, they will not show up in the listing here. So, since I've opted out, I'm not showing up here. So, there you go. And that's that. Then the next one is the leaderboards. It allows you to sort every single player who's played on the server and thus been entered in the database, sort them by stats. So you can sort by highest current skill, lowest current skill, highest skill achieved, most wins, most games played, and highest win ratio. There's a setting that the server owner can change, which will set how many rounds you need to play before you show up on the highest win percent. In this case, it's 7. So since there's nobody with, there are a couple people with over 7 rounds here, some bots, I guess, and myself. You see, we show up, but none of the bots with less than 7 wins show up here. But I can sort by highest current skill, which is a bot with 1397. I can go lowest current skill, which is a bot with 1068. I can sort by any of these variables. It'll show the top 20 players. You can also search by player name. It shows me twice because once for single player and once for multiplayer you have different unique IDs, but that won't happen in a normal server. But you can search for anything, you could search, it goes by string matching, so you could search by, a tag of a clan you're in to see who the top 20 people are in, with that name tag, or you could compare two groups against each other, so there's definitely a host of options for what you can see, and it updates at the end of every single round in real time, so the stats don't have any delay to them. You can check them, boom, as soon as the round ends, have I beaten this guy, has this guy fallen behind me, etc. And then you get onto the admin control panel with a host of controls that I'm sure the admins and server owners will greatly enjoy. You're able to set a number of minimum players before the server starts tracking players. So if you set, I have it set to 0 currently for just testing, but you can set it anywhere from 0 to 16. So if you set it to 5, if there's less than 5 players, so 4 or less players in the server, then it will not track rank stats. So the reason for that is because then you won't have people who come into the server late at night when there's only maybe one other person on, and those two people are able to boost their skill together by alternating wins and losses in a certain fashion, however they want to. Or one guy can lose over and over to boost another guy's skill, however it ends up working out. You can counteract that slightly by creating a minimum number of players required. Then, there's another slider for minimum number of rounds. Server owner can specify before a player's entered into the win percentage database. It's simply just kind of preference if they want players to to not show up in the database until a certain amount of points rounds played, then they can set that themselves. If the server owner wants to disable the ranking system, or if any admin wants to disable the ranking system for a certain amount of time, they absolutely can do that. The reason for this, that I imagine why they would want to do this, is if they wanted to have fun rounds, fool around night, something that they didn't want to be tracked, they could simply check the ranking system. It notifies the whole server that an admin has disabled the ranking system, and it tells every player who checks that the ranking system has been disabled by an admin. And obviously uncheck it to re-enable the ranking system. Then admins can also disable the ability to opt out. Again, it notifies the whole server. It removes the opt out button if you try to change it from client side by using like rank opt out. It will not have any effect. It'll be overridden by the server side variable, and that will force everybody in the server's stats to be tracked, regardless of whether or not they want to opt out. So you can see all of the statuses as for whether or not the system is enabled or disabled do appear here. So there's not enough players to record stats because there aren't 5 players in the server. If I set it to 0, then it'll show my points. If I disable the ranking system, boom, ranking system disabled. So it does have messages for every status, so players do know what's going on. You're also able to set a player's skill. So currently my skill is 1274. If I set my skill, Pyro, to 3,801. When I confirm it, I'll set my skill to 3,801, which is gold. As your division changes, the metal in the center of the screen changes directly according to what your division is. So, you can set, Pyro, if I set my skill to 5,000, then I will be in the Master Division, so I have the Master Badge. And as you go up and down through divisions, then your badge will change in accordance with your division, which is a pretty nifty feature. And also, you can set a player's high skill, so if I'm screwing on with my skill, I set it to 5,000, I'm like, I'm, rank, I have 5,000 skill, my personal record is 5,000, and then I decide to set it back. I'm like, okay, well, I'm done screwing around, so I'm going to set my skill back to where it was. Well, oops, I need to open and close. Oh, I didn't type it right, apologies. If you put a space after the name, it doesn't take it because there's no space in my name. There you go. So it sets my skill back to 1234. But my high skill achieved is still 5,000, so on the leaderboards, it'll still say my highest division achieved is Master. So I might not want that. You can set any player's highest skill achieved also to what it was previously, and it'll update that. It does update in real time, but you have to close and open it again to reload the information. And then also the admins have the ability to change all of the values regarding any skill calculations. So obviously innocent, detective, trader, living, dying, winning, and losing are all very easy to change. You simply move the slider around, and next round it will calculate the variables as they've been set in this panel. Final thing is that there's no way to cheat the system, in the sense that if you're playing around and you feel like you're going to lose, you can't just go and hit opt out, and then boom, your stats won't be tracked, and it won't, and you won't lose points for that round. The reason that that's not possible is because it doesn't take effect until the next round. So if you try to opt out right before you lose a round, it'll still track your stats, and the next round after that, it will stop tracking your stats. The same thing is true even for the disabling the ranking system for the admins. They're not able to disable the ranking system right before they lose, so even the admins can't cheat it. And also they can't disable the ability to opt out, forcing someone in, and then having their stats be tracked when they thought they wouldn't be, because again, none of that stuff takes effect until the next round. So there's no way to really cheat the system in that sense. And all this stuff is tracked persistently and consistently throughout the entire life of the server, unless the database is wiped, but it's very easy to back up. It's simply a single file that you copy and paste. And that's the whole system. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.